Hey everyone, welcome into March of 1995. There have been some major changes on our farm, and part of that major change was Walter wanting to sell off some farmland. And I was desperate to get my hands on it because A, it's close, and B, it's very good land. So we went to the bank, we refinanced our farm for $800,000. That gave us $425,000 of money that we could spend to expand this farm. We did buy 4 fields from Walter, and that totaled $142,182. We spent $1,455 an acre. It's pretty close to 100 acres. So that's a pretty big expansion. Now, we also bought some new equipment with that money. So over here, you can see we have a DMI Tigermate. Unfortunately, it is the Tigermate 2, which didn't come out until 2000. But the Tigermate, the original DMI Tigermate, was available in 1995. There's just not a mod for it in FS25 that I could find, but I did find this one. It's very close, and we're just gonna have to go with it, make it work. It's slightly bigger than our old cultivator, which you can see I have sitting here, and we will be using both. We do have a lot of a lot of acres we're covering now, so having 2 is going to make a major difference. The other major equipment that we bought is we bought a new combine. With the amount of acres we have added, a second combine is a must, mostly just for recording purposes, because it's going to take 12 hours to do harvest with just one combine here. So we went ahead and bought a second combine. I picked up the 2188. This is brand new. From what I could tell, it was first available in 1995. So that is our new combine. Now, unfortunately, in 1995, they still hadn't expanded headers beyond where we're currently at. So we're still running the 28-foot bean header and the 8-row corn head. But both of those are brand new. So the total package for the new combine and 2 headers was $200,000. Well worth it. It definitely, was made money tight. As you can see, we are sitting at $30,000, and we have about $11,000 a month in payments. So things are going to be a bit tight here. And another equipment change that we made is I went ahead and picked up this Farm King rake, sold off our tedder and our other rake, and this basically came out in the wash. Between selling the tedder and the old rake, they basically paid for this. I think it was a few $100s difference. But this is going to make a huge difference on the farm, as it's a one pass. It will ted and rake at the same time, which is a little bit more realistic for how things are done around here in Iowa. So as we don't really do any tedding, we just rake it, wait a few days, bale it. So this is perfect. It's going to save us a whole lot of time doing our baling, as it'll save one entire pass around the field, or one entire pass through the field with the tedder. No longer have to do that, so that's going to save us, honestly, probably 35-40 minutes every time we do baling. So that's huge. Now, if we take a look at the map. All right, if we take a look at the map here, you can see our north field is the same. And the 2 big fields here right by the home place. We already had those. But these 4 fields here, we were able to purchase. So I'm going to do a bunch of tilling this year, and we're going to combine fields 24 and 25 and 26 and 27. So that'll give us 3 big fields. And I guess I should mention, I'm going to field 1 and field 23 are now going to be plowed together. So this will be 3 separate fields, and they're all going to be good sized fields. So we've got a lot of tillage we need to do. One of the fields has alfalfa in it, so we're going to mow that down before we do any kind of tillage. make sure we can get as many bales as we can, because we have got to have a lot of bales to sell, and it is pretty profitable for the most part. Aside from changing out the rake, which really didn't cost us much, bale wrap and fuel are really our only expenses into making that hay. We're spreading manure on our alfalfa fields, so we don't really have a fertilizer input cost on that. So I think baling is definitely going to be something we need to stick to and do more of. But for now, we're just going to stick with our 2 normal fields. We've got this one extra field that is like 20 acres or something like that. It's pretty big. So we're going to get a lot of bales off of it. But as always, we need to get our chores done, get our milk sold. And then once we get all that done, then we will be mowing and raking and baling our alfalfa in the new field. That way we can start doing some tillage. Now, there's rain coming today, so we are going to be a bit crunched on time trying to get that baling done before that rain hits. But I do believe we will have enough time, especially with, taking out the tedding step. So we'll go ahead and get these cattle fed, get our milk sold, and continue on with the month here. But I am very excited. We also, I guess I forgot to mention, I've already bought all of our inputs for this year as well. So out of that $425,000, I have spent $381,182 already. Now we've made a few months of payments already, so that's why we're down to $30,000. But the only input cost I have not paid for is our ag line. And that's because we're to the point now where buying pallets of lime is just ridiculous. It just isn't going to work. So I did put up a bin to purchase lime on the farm. So we'll just fill the spreader up, and I'll figure up, I can't remember how many liters it holds, but we'll figure up how many liters it holds, convert that over into tons, and price it out that way for our ag lime. You can see it's right there in front of us between the 2 Quonsets, and that's how we'll be getting our ag lime from now on. But I've already got all of the herbicide, the seed, and we should be good on fertilizer. I don't think I'll need to buy any. Between what we have on hand for our solid fertilizer that we can spread, plus the slurry and the manure that we have accumulated over the winter, we should be able to fertilize all of our fields, no problem. But we'll worry about that here later on today, as we have a whole lot of work we got to get to first. Alright, so as I'm feeding our Herefords here, you can see they're all looking pretty good in this pen. And there's only one baby in there. That is the only female that we had this year. All the other calves that were born were bulls. So I got them moved over along with the big bull. The mature bull, I guess, would probably be the best way to put it. They're all moved over here. So all the babies, all the little bulls here will be fat cattle. And I pulled the big bull to make sure that, to try and get more consistent calving instead of having them scattered across like 6 months. I will pull the bull and put him back in when the cows are ready to breed again, and try and get all of our Hereford calves to be born right around the same 3-month window. Make things a lot easier for selling them off as fat cattle. But with our Holsteins, I can't really do that because then we'll go months without milk. And I want to keep milk going every month, even though it does dip a bit throughout the year. It at least gives us something to sell. So we're doing well in the cattle department. It'll be another, year and a half-ish before we sell our first Hereford fat steers, but that's long term. All right, we've got 3,520 gallons of milk on. So we'll get this run into the creamery, get it sold, and adjust the price as needed. And I think I forgot to mention, we have not sold our corn yet. We sold most of our bales. I just kept, a few on hand to make sure we could feed our cattle throughout the winter. But that's all sold. We just have corn left to sell, and we do have fat steers to sell this month as well. So we're not going to sell the corn yet. We're going to try and wait until May. The price will be a little bit better in May. But we've got this milk to sell, fat steers to sell, a lot of field work to do. Honestly, this is might end up being more work than we can get done this month. But we're definitely going to try to get everything completed as much as we can here in this month. That way, all we have to do is worry about our planting in April. All right, we're down here at the creamery. We'll go ahead and get this sold off. All right, we need to pull $800 back. All right, so that puts us at $39,673. Feeling pretty good about where we're sitting at here. So we'll go ahead, get back to the home place here. That rain is supposed to hit this afternoon, so we should have enough time to get all of our alfalfa baled before that rain hits, so that's what we're going to do next. All right, well, we are officially ready to start mowing, so we got the International 5000 out here, and we'll get this alfalfa knocked down. This shouldn't take too terribly long. Then we'll go ahead and get it raked up and get it baled. All right, we are ready to get rocking and rolling here on baling. So the rake worked out really well. I'm pretty happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and get all of this alfalfa picked up here. And I got a feeling this is going to be a lot of bales, just a lot of bales. So we'll get this hammered out. We got about an hour before the rain starts, so hopefully we'll have this finished before then. And then we can get on to probably selling cattle if the rain hits. And if the rain hasn't hit yet, we'll start doing some tillage and getting some fields combined into bigger fields here. All right, we're finishing up baling here, and it has started to rain, but I was close enough. I'm just pushing through just to get it done. We've made 130 bales so far. We might make one more. It's going to be close. But yeah, 130 bales. My goodness, that's a lot of bales. So we'll get this last little bit picked up here, and it is not enough for another bale, and that's okay. We have God's plenty. So we're going to go ahead and get this drug back to the home place. Get it cleaned up, maintenance stuff, put in the shed, and then we'll hook the pickup up to the stock trailer and start hauling cattle down to the sale barn and get our fat cattle sold off here. All right, we got 11 cattle loaded up on the trailer here. So we'll get these guys taken down to the animal dealer and get them sold off. All right, we're down here at the animal dealer, so we'll go ahead and get these cattle sold off. All right, we got them sold off, and we definitely need to make an adjustment here. So we've got to drop $20,645. All right, so we're at $50,676. So in the year 1995, for the month of March, cattle were selling at $68.20 per hundredweight, and we had 11 cattle. Just figure average them out at 1,500 pounds each. So that brings us to a profit of $11,253. So that's why we took the $20,645 off. And I'm pretty happy with where we're at. So we've got plenty of corn we still need to sell yet sometime this year. That will probably be in May, is the way the crop prices are looking. So I'm going to go home, unhook this trailer. We'll hook the gooseneck trailer up, get those bales picked up, and hopefully by then it's done raining, and we can get started into the field. All right, it is almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The rain has finally quit, but we've got a lot of chisel plowing to do here. I'm going to start over here. I didn't make this straight with the bins when I originally extended this field. And honestly, at this point, I don't remember why, but at the time it made sense to me, but now it is just kind of annoying. So we're going to fix this. We're going to go ahead and start with our two big fields that we've had for a while here. Get these combined, and then we'll move on to our new fields. All right, we got all of the fields finished. I went down and picked up the fertilizer cart. We got it filled up for the first time here. And doing the conversion, this cart holds 12.46 tons. And that comes out to $499. So we'll just call it an even 500 to make math easy. So it'll be $500 per cartload. So I don't know that we're going to get all of the lime that we need to get done this year. This is going to get very expensive very quick. But we're going to definitely try and get as much done as, you know, our finances will let us do. Now, if we jump up into construction mode here, you can see we definitely added a lot of acres here. So you can see the different ground texture between the plowed ground and the cultivated ground here. So we got these two fields combined together, and I extended the end rows quite a bit. Looks like to be basically a full planter pass, bigger. Added this little cone here. So I'm not sure. I wasn't honestly quite sure how far to go with this. We'll see when I run the planter how big of a pain this is. And we may shorten this up a bit and turn it back into grass. We'll just have to see when we plant. But you can see we ran right along the ridge. When the ridge ended, we cut down. Ran right along the tree line. So this field got significantly bigger. This field over here added that little corner patch there. Yet again, that's another piece. We'll see when I plant if it's, you know, actually worth it. But I want to try and get as many acres as I can here, as we did spend a ridiculous amount of money. And I'm definitely very nervous about our finances. But this is just a big rectangular field. Nothing hard about it. And our third one up here, you can see I added a pretty significant amount of end row to it. And we took down all of the trees that were running the south fence line here. And that added a lot of acres. And we also extended around on the outside over here. So we have a lot of acres to cover here. We'll see how much we can get done tonight before, you know, it gets dark. But we're going to run till I run out of money. So I'm sure we're going to be running quite a while into the night. But I'm going to start as far away from the home place here. Or start the farthest field away from the home place here. And just work our way closer every time. So it's going to take us a while to get this far field done. Because I'm sure we'll have to fill up, you know, 2 or 3 times at least to get that field done. So it's going to be a lot of driving back and forth. But we're going to go ahead and spread all of our ag lime that we can first. And then we'll switch over to manure and slurry and make sure that we are fertilized as much as possible. That way we are set and ready to plant next month. Oh, and cultivate. We also have a lot of cultivating to do yet. So there's... My goodness, there is honestly a full month's worth of work yet to do. But we're going to start out with the lime and just knock it out one step at a time here. Alright, well, I went ahead and hired Grandpa up to finish spreading the lime in the middle field here. He's going to take care of all of that. And I'm going to start spreading slurry, try and, you know, save up a little bit of time here getting 2 jobs done at once. Now, the nice thing is, all 3 of the 4 fields, I should say, are fully fertilized already. So we only have to fertilize what we plowed up. Now, the alfalfa field that we just mowed will have to be fertilized, so that's going to take a little extra time, but as far as the rest of it, it won't take that long to get this fertilizing done, as, like I said, we only have to fertilize what we plowed up. Everything else is good to go. So basically, one pass around the outside of this field, one down the middle, maybe two, depending on how wide it was. And this will be fully fertilized and ready to be cultivated. So honestly, we're making pretty good progress. Definitely running out of daylight here. It's, already 5:45, so we're definitely pushing it as far as daylight goes, but good thing all of our equipment has lights on it. So we'll go ahead and get this slurry done, and I'll keep an eye on Grandpa. I will have to refill the cart for him, but other than that, he should be able to handle getting that lime spread down in that field, no problem. All right, we got all of the fertilizing and lime down, so we're going to go ahead and get to cultivating here. So I've got the big cultivator, the new one on the four-wheel drive here, and Grandpa is running the old cultivator with the 7250. And I did not spread lime in this field or the north field. I'm going to wait until next year to do that. But we ended up doing 7 cart loads in total. So that was not too bad. Honestly, less than I expected. I kind of figured I'd have to do 10. But, it was still expensive. So that was, $3,500 worth of lime that we did. So, definitely not cheap. But well worth it. Making sure that we, can maximize those 2 fields. Neither one of these fields that we, originally own need lime this year. They're okay, so we're going to wait and do both of those next year and try and kind of rotate. That way, we're not doing a whole bunch of lime all in 1 year and then nothing for 3 years. We'll just kind of rotate them out here. But I'm going to do some spot cultivating in this field, and then I'll move to one of the other new field that Grandpa's not in when I get this spot cultivating done. That way I can get it finished up. So we're going to work through the night, get this finished up, be ready for planting in April. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Hey everyone, welcome into April. We got all of our cultivating done last night. Worked till about 10 o'clock, but got it all done. So we are ready to plant this month. We're going to start out doing our chores like we always do. Haul our milk, get it sold off, and then we can get to planting. We have a whole lot of fields to plant this year. I'm super excited about it. We've definitely got, definitely got a lot of acres. I'm very happy with how far we've upgraded. But we're going to go ahead and jump out here, take a look. We've got 67 animals in this barn now, so we are growing steadily. And, it's been a while since we've come out here and joined the herd, taking a look, see everybody looking happy and healthy. Got some babies out here, got some juveniles, and we've got a lot of adults, and everybody is doing wonderfully. And I have to say, the fact that they got it so that, they don't all have the same spots is incredible. There's definitely individuals out there, and it looks great. But we're going to go ahead and finish feeding up our cattle here. This is enough for this barn for this month. And we need to take some to our Herefords and to our fat cattle lot for the Holsteins. Then we can go ahead and sell our milk. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our Herefords fed here. And we did have 2 new babies in this pen last month. So you can see one of them right here. Got ourselves another little male. And a little female. So we've had 2 females so far. So this herd is going to grow slowly. But that's okay. That gives us plenty of cattle to sell off here in, another year and a half or so for our fat cattle. So we'll at least make profit. But this herd this year is not going to grow very fast, but that's okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our fat cattle pen here fed up for our Holsteins. You can see we don't have any big ones out here anymore since we sold them off last month. But These guys are doing absolutely wonderfully. They're all very happy, very healthy. And yeah, I'm very excited with where we're at with our cattle herd. It's definitely going very well. The realistic livestock mod is very, very good. I'm enjoying it immensely. And it did just have an update, so now there's diseases, I believe, and a few other changes. I haven't really delved too deep into it. I went ahead and turned the diseases off since they weren't a part of this series to begin with. And honestly, I just kind of want to experiment with it before I, go full bore into it. So we won't have to worry about diseases in this series, but it is something we will have moving forward in a future series on this channel. But for now, we're just going to kind of leave it where it was and go from there. All right, and that is it for our chores this morning. You can see our fat cattle pen here for our Herefords. Everybody's looking good. Don't pay attention to the cow that just walked through the concrete wall. That's definitely not supposed to happen. You gotta love video games. But we're gonna go ahead and get our milk loaded up into the trailer and get it sold next. All right, we've got 3,143 gallons on. So we'll run this into the creamery, get it sold off, and as always, adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this sold off. And we need to pull back $135. All right, so we're at $43,645. So that takes care of all of our chores and selling for this morning. So we're going to head back to the home place, get the planter drug out of the shed, get it loaded with seed, and get into the field. We have a lot of planting to do, and I'm super, super excited to get started. All right, we're up here at the home place north. We're going to plant this as corn, and we're going to plant the home place as corn, and the two new fields will be planted to soybeans this year. So we're going to get this thing fired up, drop it down, get a row marker out, and get to planting. So this field won't take very long. I'm kind of excited to see what the home place does and how long it takes now that we've combined both of those fields, as well as the two new fields. But we'll go ahead and get this hammered out, and I'll catch up to you guys when we get this field done. All right, it is exactly 9 a.m., and we're starting here at the home place. We got home place north already finished. So I'll be curious to see, how much time this takes to plant. Now, this 16-row planter definitely makes a huge difference over the planter we originally had in this series. So I don't think this will be too bad. Should have plenty of time to still get our spraying done yet this month. But I'm excited. This is going to be awesome, seeing this big of a field, all corn, seeing the other two fields as beans. I'm super excited for this. So we're going to go ahead and get this hammered out and see how long it takes us to get this finished. All right, it is 11 o'clock on the dot, and we are finished with our corn. We're finished planting our corn, I should say. So yeah, this field took about 2 hours. Big part of that was I did decide to do the contour again. So trying to, essentially wing it and figure out how I wanted to contour it this time to try and clean it up a little bit compared to last year. Took me a little bit more time. No big deal. The next two fields will go significantly faster as they're very basic. And we'll just be doing straight back and forth on those fields. So the next two fields are going to be soybean fields, and we'll go significantly faster. So I'm going to back this planter up here. We're going to grab the seed, get this thing topped off again. And I'm guessing we'll probably have to fill this twice with the size of those two fields. No big deal. We have plenty of seed on hand. So I'm going to go grab that. We'll get this thing filled up and start planting in our soybean field. All right, we are over here in our soybean field, so we'll go ahead and get fired up, drop it down, get our row marker out, and get to planting here. Like I said, this field will go significantly faster than our big cornfield did, but still going to take a bit. Definitely a good sized field. We have really expanded how many acres we're covering, and I'm very excited for it. So we're going to get these soybeans hammered out and get to spraying, because that's also going to take a hot minute. A lot of work to get done yet this month, but definitely worth it. All right, well, I ran back here to the home place to pick up some more seed. We're just about out in the planter. So we're about 3/4 of the way done with our first soybean field here. So this should be more than enough seed to get us finished, but I just wanted to be sure. Oh no. Alright, so I just wanted to be sure we had enough on the pickup. We'll ignore the fact that something just happened to the poor pickup. But I think we'll park it right there. Probably shut it down. I guess we don't probably need it running. So we'll get this backed up here and start filling the planter again. And of course it's not taking the short pallet. There it went. Alright, so we'll get back to planting and should be wrapping up here pretty shortly here on this farm. Alright, we got the old Massey Ferguson sprayer out here. So we're going to go ahead and get these fields sprayed. We'll spray them in the same order that I planted them in. And just like last year, I'm not going to contour with the sprayer because it doesn't matter. And it's just a lot faster going straight back and forth as opposed to trying to, actually follow the rows. That's the one nice thing about FS25. You can go up and down the hill and get away with it. But as far as planting goes, seeing those rows growing in, the contour as opposed to straight up and down the hill is a much more pleasant view to my eye, much more what I'm used to, so that's why we're planting it that way. And it does make it a little bit more fun. It's a little more time consuming, but it is more fun. So we'll get these fields all sprayed, and hopefully I have enough herbicide. I ended up having basically the exact amount of seed I needed. I think we had like 800 liters left over or something like that. So yeah, pretty happy with, that. And hopefully I got the figure right for the herbicide here. All right, we're just finishing up here. And this field is done. So we're going to fold up. I'm going to go ahead and reload with herbicide, and we're going to get started into the home place field here. And like I said, we're just going to go straight back and forth on it while spraying. Try and get this done a little quicker. As, it is coming up on 2 o'clock already. Time is absolutely flying by this month. But not a surprise, not with how big our fields are and how much work, we're actually having to put in here. All right, we are reloaded and we're getting the home place field sprayed here, and we'll just keep working our way on down, field by field. All right, we got this big field done. We've had to refill twice. So we're going to go back, top off again, head to our next field, and get it done. So far everything's going quite well. It's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Next 2 fields should go pretty fast. They're not quite as big as this one. And by pretty fast, I mean faster than this. Welcome into May, everyone. We ended the month of April by getting all of our fields sprayed, and they are looking absolutely fantastic today. No weeds growing in any of them. Very happy about that. So we're going to go ahead and start off with our chores. We need to get 3 loads of feed up here to our dairy barn. We've got milk to sell. We've got corn to sell. And we've got alfalfa that we need to get knocked down and turned into hay. So we've got plenty to do this month. Definitely not quite as busy as last month, but I'm pretty okay with that. Last month it was very stressful with the amount of planting we had to get done. But like I said, our fields look absolutely fantastic, and I'm very, very excited for what this fall might bring. But for now, we need to get all of this feed hauled up here, so we'll get that taken care of, and then we'll jump into selling our milk. All right, we've got 2,859 gallons on, so we'll go ahead and get this run into the creamery, get it sold, and as always, adjust the price accordingly. All right, pulling into the creamery here. We'll go ahead and get this sold off. And we need to add $120. All right, so that puts us at $40,845. That's pretty good. So we'll head back to the home place. Need to get some fuel in this semi, and we'll hook up to the grain trailer and start selling off all of our corn. All right, we're getting pulled in down here at the co-op, so we'll go ahead and get this load sold off here. All right, we need to take $22,354 off. All right, so that puts us at $43,537. We've got quite a few trips to make here. I'm guessing, what, 4 or 5 loads here. So we'll go ahead and get these hammered out, and I'll catch up to you guys on the last one. All right, we're getting pulled in here with our last load of corn. We've got 778 bushels on, so we'll go ahead and get this sold off. All right, we need to pull back $15,111. So that puts us at a grand total of $53,373. I'm very happy with that, so we're going to run this back to the home place, get this parked, and it's time to start knocking down our alfalfa so we can get it turned into hay. All right, we're up here in our alfalfa field. We'll go ahead and get all of this mowed down, get it raked, and get it baled. Shouldn't take us too long here. Definitely not as long as the alfalfa we did earlier this year in our new field. So that's, kind of a double-edged sword there. It's nice and won't take as long, but also kind of sucks we're not going to have as many bales. But at the same time, we really don't need that many bales. We're just kind of, at this point, baling up, bales to sell, try and make a little extra profit, so every little bit counts. All right, we're coming up here towards the end, and we've got not enough to make another bale. So we've got 85 bales in total, which is more than we've ever gotten. I don't know if that new Farm King rake is just more efficient and collecting more of the alfalfa, if using the manure to fertilize is making a difference, but something is definitely making a difference. I don't know what, but I'm not really going to question it either. I'll definitely take it. So we're going to go ahead and get this cleaned up, get it put away, grab the pickup, get all the bales picked up, get them stacked. And that is going to be it for the month of May, and also the end of this episode. So if you guys like what you're seeing, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode.